Hello and welcome back to another episode of Camp Time is Real Time. I'm your host, Sarah Lebrecq, and this week we have something a little bit different. This week I talked to Caitlin Panciocco about her marathon training for this year's marathon. So it's myself and Katie Crowley. And the reason for that is Katie and we ran the marathon together in 2011. And we barely trained because training is a lot of hard work. And um, frankly, we didn't know what we were doing, or we knew that we weren't doing the right thing. So we talked to Caitlin about her training and how it's very different than ours. We kind of swapped some stories. The reason this is so great is because Caitlin is running for a really, really worthy cause, and we're going to get into that. And I want you guys all to listen to this and remember that we are a camp community here. Even if you don't go to FCDC, welcome. You're part of the podcast. You're part of our community. And I want everyone to hear, how Caitlin's training, why she's doing it, and how we can help. And there are a couple of links you're definitely going to want to visit. They're right there in the notes of your podcast. One is the donation page for Caitlin. And the other, of course, is the hilarious blog that Katie and I maintained for our run. So you can see that we documented just how ridiculous our lack of training was. This was so fun talking to Caitlin about her training. If you plan on being out there to cheer her on, send us a picture of your signs, show us those videos of you running into her, and let's do our part by getting Caitlin over the finish line. I mean, she's doing all the work, but we are there to support. So that's what this one is all about. This is FCDC in the off season. This is how the camp kind of lives when it's snowing out in the middle of February. So this was a lot of fun to do. I think you're really going to enjoy it. And let's show that FCDC pride by supporting one of our own. All right, we'll be back next week, but enjoy this one. It's really fun. And that's all I have for you. Bye-bye. So, Caitlin, do you like running?
Yeah, I do. I love it. I've been running since I was in sixth grade, and yeah, so that's where the marathon comes in.
Was running the Boston Marathon, was that on your radar anyway?
Oh my gosh, yes. I've always wanted to do it, but I never thought I was going to do it this early on. I always thought probably after college, but
yeah,
just wanted to do it now. Never be this young again.
So, all right. So we are recording in the middle of January. So what does your training look like? How has it been going, and what are you doing? Because no idea.
Yeah, it's been actually really good. The team I'm with, they have a coach, so she made an individual schedule for each of the runners, and it's a very small team. It's only 5 people. Mm-hmm. But I have a long run on Friday, and then usually this week it's been building up mile by mile every week, so I have a 14-mile run on Friday. Yeah.
Wait, already yeah. You're running 14 miles?
Yeah. I started off I would run at least 5-ish miles a day before I started training. So I think that's why it's faster. But and then I do some kind of speed workout where it's a little bit shorter and adding just some speed to the legs. And hills, and then I have some easy days and one cross training day, and then one rest day.
Wow.
What's an easy day?
It'll be 4 miles at conversational pace.
Okay.
Hold the phone.
Hold on, that's an easy day. Okay, great. So, so I guess, so how has it been do you have what are you shooting for? Do you have something in mind, or do you not want to say that?
Yeah, so, no, I don't know anything, cause I've never ran a marathon before. So I was I said to the coach, I was oh, probably under 5. And she's you can probably be under 4:30. So we'll see, probably as close to 4 as I can get.
we came at it differently from you, I'd say. Do you have anyone at UMass who's doing it, or are you running by yourself?
I do actually. And it's such a small world. I couldn't believe it. There's these two girls who are running it, and they're a part of like this huge team that does group runs and stuff. And they were posting, and in the picture they tagged Danielle Patemry, who was a counselor when I was a camper. And I'm like, no way, these two girls at UMass who like I'm gonna train with know Danielle, like a camp counselor. I'm like, this is so crazy.
Running it with someone is like
Mm-hmm.
the ticket to doing it.
Yeah,
It's like,
totally.
it's like a little bit of support, just like when you want to stop, they don't want to stop, and vice versa. So
Totally.
My
yeah.
mom used to set up people to like jump in at like random places, like probably around like mile 10, someone would come in and run like 3 miles with her. And then like Heartbreak Hill, someone came in and ran Heartbreak Hill with her. And, you know, like if you had people along the route that would just hop in to do a few miles.
Oh my gosh.
Like my cousin, it's a great idea. It's like my cousin Linda hopped in at like, you know, like 21 or something and got my mom to 24. You know, and at that point you're like, God, you're so close.
Yeah.
That's
smart.
That's great.
So, Sarah, we could hop in and run a few miles.
Yeah.
April
17th.
We will get punched in the face. I don't want you guys.
Yeah, get out of here. No more bandits. Especially you two. Well, I was like, great. Like, I'll let you know where I'm going to stand and cheer for you. But now I guess we're running. So.
See? I always suck you into it.
No, this is how it happens. You're very good at it. So you're going up to 14. Is that the longest one you've done so far?
Yeah, it is. And I've never ran over 13 miles before. So this will be a new record for me.
How is it feeling? Like, how are those long runs that you've done up like on those Fridays? How are they feeling so far?
They're good. I do take them like really slow, and I'm trying to figure out like the whole like goo and like energy gel, that kind of thing. Cause you're supposed to take them like they say like every couple of miles, but they're so gross, some of them. So I'm like, I cannot eat them. So I like the little like gummy things more, but they've been feeling good, definitely.
Yeah.
Slow and steady.
Katie is the person who always like got us to do things, right? So she would always be like, hey, do you want to do a triathlon? And she'd like ask and ask and ask and ask. And finally we'd be like, okay. And then it would always end up being like pretty fun, but she was the one who always got things going. So we did that. There's a 5 mile race, the Harpoon 5 miler we ran together. We did
like the Jingle Bell in Somerville. We did the Cranberry. Did you do Cranberry Half with me and Katie, or was it just me and Katie?
No, I don't think so.
Oh,
yeah. I drew the line.
I suckered her into some other one. Oh, the Tough Mudder, Sarah?
Tough Mudder, yep. The Tough Mudder we did right before the marathon.
No, actually it was after because it was your birthday.
Right after the marathon, that's right. Yeah.
My mom was a marathon runner. She ran 3 Boston marathons. So I would say I grew up watching her, but I mean, I only watched 3 of them. But it seems like a lot. Like my dad would like drive us around to different areas on the route, and we'd like see her 5 different times and have like change of clothes and water and food for her. So it was like kind of a huge event. And then it's like one of those things that you just always go out on Patriots Day and you watch the marathon. And it just was something that I always wanted to do. So in college, my sophomore year, I think it was my sophomore year, I convinced 2 girls to run the Boston Marathon with me. And we trained in Syracuse in the cold and the hills, and it was great. And we did our training. Like I actually trained that time. Yes, I know. We ran like 18 miles, hills, everything. And it was like my Chrissy DePietro, every single time we'd go for a run, she'd be like, the last mile, she would look at us and she'd be like, anyone can run a mile. And that's how we got through our last mile of our run every single time. So that Boston Marathon turned out to be like the 3rd hottest recorded Boston Marathon ever. And all of my mom's friends were calling me the night before, like all of her running guys. And they were like, don't run it. This is crazy. Don't do it. And of course, you're a sophomore in college and you're like, no, I'm going to go run this. You put all that time. It's like 4 months of training. So then I went out with the two girls and I can't remember, probably around like mile 3, they said I started acting funny. And then they were eventually they were like, you stopped responding to us. You were yelling at us. Sarah knows what it's like when I yell at people. And then they're like, all of a sudden you just stop talking. And then it wasn't until mile 11 where I completely collapsed and they caught me before like they will tell the story. They're like, we caught you before your head hit the ground. We put you on the ground. We elevated your legs. We flagged down an ambulance that was coming down the street to get, I'm not trying to terror.
Yeah, I was like, oh, wait a second. This is a bad question.
And they put me in the ambulance and then they sent me to Newton Wellesley. And luckily I passed out early enough in the race to get a bed at Newton Wellesley, because after that, everyone was just like in wheelchairs and like sitting on the floor of the hallways because it was just so hot that so many people passed out of dehydration. So I had to get my revenge.
Yes.
And that is why I conned Sarah into running with me.
That's impressive though, that you could run like, was it like 7 miles while you were like lightheaded and like all that heat? Like I feel like
I don't remember after. So
like, that's crazy.
The marathon's great. And there's this part in the first, like second mile, Sarah, you'll know this. So you come downhill, I think you're still in Huntington, and there are all the bikers on the left-hand side.
Yeah, TJ's. Yeah, it's like honestly, it's like just shy of 2 miles. You feel like you can climb a mountain. Like people are cheering for you. Yeah. You only run like 1.5 miles. It's awesome.
Yeah. It's awesome. I don't remember anything past that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yours will be different.
Yeah. Yours will be very different.
But ever since
look at your training.
Yeah, but ever since that, like, so Katie would always find these like races to run, and she's like, let's do the marathon. And we'd have had like several drinks, you know, and I'm like, yeah, you're crazy, whatever. But like, she just kind of grinds on you. And then eventually it was like, yes, we will do it, but we are not training. I think that was my stipulation for running.
I probably was like, I'm going to train. Here's my schedule. Yes. I would highlight what I'm supposed to do.
And then I was like, no, I'm not doing that. But you know, what's interesting. So Katie and I know each other, like we met at camp, and then I've done Boston 3 times. The first time I did it, same thing, was in college, like you said I was going to train. And that I was like, I don't know. we didn't really have the internet back then. Like, I feel like it would be very easy now to Google like how to train for it. But I was like, I guess if I run 10 miles at some point, that will be fine. It wasn't. I had mono. I ran it. It was fine. But my second one was also with a camp person. Did you ever know Trisha, the nurse?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So I ran with her, and I'll post when this thing goes up, the picture of us running when we took the T out to Riverside. I was wearing an FCDC shirt.
I saw that. I did see that.
Oh, really?
You had like a little thing under it. I was like, classic.
Can Sarah tell the story about the triathlon? That's my favorite story.
Oh yeah, we did. So one of the things Katie roped us into is a triathlon, like a sprint triathlon. So it's like a quarter-mile swim.
A half-mile swim.
Yeah.
It was a half-mile swim, a 15-mile bike, and a 5-mile run.
Oh my gosh.
So it was in June, I think. It was at like the beginning of the summer. So I didn't have access to a pool because it, was cold out and everything. And so I didn't do any swimming because I couldn't.
Katie Bell and I were swimming like 2 to 3 times a week. I'm terrified. I'm not a good swimmer. Like I was practicing to make sure I could do this.
Yeah, but so I also only had a child's mountain bike.
The day before the race, and to practice, we rode them from my house up to Mickey Cassidy to get a drink.
That's right. Yeah. So I guess like some of the cardinal rules are like, don't try out new equipment like for the day of the race.
Yeah.
Also, like, practice all the elements. Check. So we get in the we get to the race, and they're like, go. So we just, get it. It's in a lake, so you couldn't really see anything. So I am swimming for my life because I'm like, these two are gonna kill me. They're gonna absolutely kill me.
Hold the phone. Before, when they were like, shoot the gun, and they say go, Sarah literally says out loud, I guess I should start my training.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't know with us. We don't know if you trained.
All we do wherever we go is make friends. It's wonderful. But I was like, these two are gonna kill me if I don't, like, if I hold them back, they're gonna be so angry at me. So I'm just swimming, whatever. I get out, and I get back to our stuff, and there's nary a Katie to be found. Like, there's no Katies. And I'm like, oh, did they leave? I don't think so. Their bikes are still here. So I'm like,
Sarah comes out of the lake, and my parents are there, and she's like, have you seen the Katies? And they're like, no, they haven't come out yet. They're like, what? Like start getting ready for the fight.
Get ready. I'm like checking Twitter, like whatever, because I'm waiting for my friends. Like, and so they finally come up, and I was like, hi. And we made it, and then we did the bike ride, which was fun. There was a lot of, and then I think we finished last.
Maybe not last, but we were close to the end.
Oh, it was great.
So funny.
Anyway, they posted the times and like the transition times, and my transition from the swim to the bike was like 11 minutes.
Yeah.
Because Katie Bell and I we were in the pond, and we were freaking out. It's like we both got out of the pond at the same time and looked at each other. We're like, this is why camp teaches you the elementary backstroke.
Oh, yeah.
It's a survival stroke. And I was like, thank God for Kelly Giddings. Thank God. I remember I went right up to a canoe, and I was like, you're fine. Your backstroke. And I was like,
Yeah.
It wasn't the guy in the canoe. He was like, get off of me. What does the training max out at? What's the longest run you will do before you?
So I'm not sure yet, because we were talking, and I was like, I kind of want to go over 20 miles because I just like want to. I don't know why I've like just like I think like 22. I think will be my max. Like not all the way to 26, but
yeah.
I just don't. For some reason I don't want to go into the marathon never running over 20 miles. Like I feel like I don't know.
Good for you.
What's your preferred when you run? Do you listen to music? Do you listen to podcasts? Do you do nothing? What do you do?
So I love running with people. I've been dragging my sisters on some runs, and my roommate, thankfully, in college, loves to run too. So they'll come with me for parts of it. So I love to talk to people. But I do like
during the run.
Yeah. Sometimes we'll throw on Camp Time is Real Time,
Yes.
Shameless plug.
No, that's why she got asked back.
But music, yeah, I'm building a playlist. I have like this little like fanny pack thing. Shout out Sam Cowell, but I think I can sync it to my watch. I have to try this where I don't even use it. I could just bring my watch out, and
you're gonna want your phone during the marathon.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I agree.
For what? Like pictures?
Yes, pictures, recording, of course.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Well, here's the thing, because Katie, you got some good. I was looking at the blog, and we'll put that in the bio too.
Yeah.
But you got some good video from like Wellesley, and you actually shopping for a fanny pack.
Yeah, that's right.
But Caitlin's like a real runner. Like, don't you think she'll be focused on running? We're focused on making it to the end.
Yeah, I mean, our goal was to finish, but I also think running the Boston Marathon is like a very memorable event. And there are some things that I like. Don't you still get chills thinking about them, Sarah? Like, oh, for everyone at home, she is shaking her head no.
So Kate, what do you still think about from it?
Wellesley, like you can hear the girls screaming a mile before you get there. It's insane. Turning down Boylston Street. Oh, it's just, and like, do not be deceived. When you turn down Boylston Street, the finish is much further than you think. You can see it. It is still really far away. But those things like still give me chills of like when you think about it. And it's just it's so exciting. Oh, I love the marathon. I love it so much. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, I went to it last year and I was like, oh, this makes me want to run it so bad.
Yes.
I would have thought that I would do it the next year, but I totally get what you mean.
Katie's gonna dig her claws into you. You're gonna be doing races with Katie every.
That's what I
Yeah. So let's talk about why you're running. Why did you decide this year was the year you're gonna do it?
Yeah, so my family, we've always like worked with, not like works, but like we've always like when we could donate money and stuff, it would go to cholangiocarcinoma. That it's the kind of cancer my dad had. It's a rare kind of cancer, and my uncle in the past ran a marathon for them. And I knew I always wanted to run a marathon like one day in honor of my dad. And then when I went to college, I missed like having something to train for because like there's no really like running season. So I was just kind of looking, I was like, imagine if I ran the Boston Marathon. I was like, I don't know. And then sadly, I wrote it in the bio on my like donation page. One of our family friends, someone who my mom worked with, Ken, he also died of cholangiocarcinoma like this fall. And like cholangiocarcinoma is such a rare disease. And like now that's impacted like two people who like I know very well. I'm like, I need to do something now. So I Googled up, like I emailed the cholangiocarcinoma foundation. They didn't do a marathon, but I found the Target Cancer Foundation, and they basically do all their money goes to research for rare cancers, and cholangiocarcinoma is one of the main ones that they do. So it's honestly, it's the perfect foundation. Like everyone there is so nice and like supportive, but basically like rare cancers don't get any funding because not many people are affected by them. And so when you get diagnosed with like cholangiocarcinoma or like another kind of rare cancer, it just like you have no chance in fighting because there's no cure, like no research to get better. So it's really sad for like those patients. So I just wanted to help raise money so people can have like a fighting chance when they get diagnosed with these diseases, because they're hard to detect. And once they do, it's usually like a very like quick battle that you have with these types of cancers. I just don't want anyone else to go through that kind of thing.
I hope you know, and I think you do, but I hope you know the entire camp community is like so impressed with what you're doing, so proud of what you're doing. And I mean, your dad must just be like, oh my God, she's the best. Like, look at her running, look at her training.
Thanks. That means so much, especially for you guys. Thank you.
Where can people donate if they want to help you out?
The website we have to go through it's a Give and Gain, www.giveandgain.com. And then it's Caitlin-Panciocco. But it might be easier if like I'll send you like the link or something.
Yeah. Oh, we'll do a link in bio, as they say.
Yeah.
Been waiting to do that for a year. Is there anything in particular you're looking forward to, or is that concept still like a little too far off?
I am, because I sometimes I go on, I'm like what to know about the Boston Marathon, and even just like reading about it, like it just all makes me excited. But I will say like the end, I'm definitely looking forward to like those last mile. Well, it's gonna be painful, but like finishing the race will be exciting.
Yeah. Do you guys have the day off?
Yeah, we do. Yeah. So like all my UMass friends are coming, and then some of my hometown friends, and then I didn't know this, but my entire like family from like Minnesota and Long Island, they're all coming. So I'm so excited. I'm like,
oh, that's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, Katie, are there anything you want to tell Caitlin about the race itself that
Some
maybe?
advice.
Yeah.
Let me get my list. Oh, there's so much stuff. Okay. So make sure they know exactly what you're wearing
Yes.
and make sure you put it out on Instagram. What do you use? Do you use Instagram? I'm so bad at this stuff. What
I
are
think they
kids
use
using these days?
MySpace, I think.
I use
So
Instagram.
post yourself what you're wearing, your number on Instagram. And then make sure you know exactly where everyone's going to be. And because it's going to be easier for you to find them than it is for them to find you.
Okay.
So if you know that they're going to be between like mile 9 and 11, figure out, are they on runner's right or runner's left?
Okay.
That's my other thing too. Because if people are coming out and you want to see them, because they totally boost you up and will give you so much more energy to like keep going. You don't want to miss them. So just try to know exactly where they are. The first, 12 miles are technically downhill, or first 16 miles, I guess, right? Are technically downhill. Not all of them, but like don't go
super easy up to mile 16.
like the first mile really is downhill,
Yes.
right, Sarah?
Awesome.
Do not go fast. Hold back. Not go fast. I don't know. Enjoy Wellesley. Take your time on Heartbreak Hill.
Yeah.
Just go to finish. That was our goal. Our goal was always just to finish. Enjoy it and finish.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
I think in general, it's hard to understand just how good you will feel when you see someone cheering for you. And like the amount of times there were like tears in my eyes, just like random people weren't even cheering for us, but just had either like funny signs or like, you're running the marathon. That's amazing. Like it's definitely like an emotional 26.2, and you will find a pick me up when you need it. Like it will just be there, and like there will be like a series of them. And I'm thinking you are going to have a lot of camp fans out there cheering for you, and I think that is going to be pretty darn cool.
That's awesome.
Would be my guess. Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, you're gonna do great.
But you'll put your name on your shirt, right?
Yes, I was gonna ask you, did you guys do that?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like that's what Sarah's saying, because like even if it's not someone who knows you, they're gonna see the name Caitlin on your shirt and they are gonna cheer for you. And that alone, you're gonna be like, I don't know who you are. You're gonna wave to them, and then you're gonna keep going. It makes you feel so much better.
Yeah. It's definitely hard to put into words how amazing it feels. Which is what this podcast specializes in, trying to put into words that which cannot be put into words. So here we are, bringing it back. So I was saying before, when you announced that you were running, and I can speak from the camp family perspective, it like everyone was just over the moon excited. It's just like, this girl, she's the best. I can't believe it. But like you said, we're trying to raise some money here to help out a bunch of people. So my thought is, and we talked about it a little bit, but I think if you are a person listening to this podcast right now and you know Caitlin, you at least know of Caitlin. You know the name Panciocco. There's no one listening to this podcast who doesn't know a Panciocco, right? So whether you've donated or not, and a lot of people did at the jump because that is the type of family we are, I think let's show a little bit of camp pride by throwing in, let's say, the amount of years you've been at FCDC. That dollar amount, I think, should go to Caitlin and her great cause, because that's what we do, is help each other out. And much like the counselor hunt, however many years you've been at camp, that's how many dollars. You can find that amount of money in your coach. So unless you're Kelly, in which case it might take some time.
Yeah.
But, that would be my call to action for all of the many hundreds of listeners that are listening to that. So that's that's directly from me, Sarah. And I told Caitlin I was going to say that. So she's not shaking me down. I am. Yeah.
These are your years as a camper and a counselor.
Correct. Yes. Yes. So it's counselor hunt rules. So it's ever since you've been going. It's not just, your CIT and beyond. It's from tenderfoot on. Guys, don't let us down. That's coming directly from me. So don't let me. And if you think I'm talking to you, I probably am.
Caitlin, what's your fundraising goal?
It's so the John, because the company's part of the John Hopkins, it's you have to raise the average of what was last year. So I think it was $10,000, or it was 7,500, but our team made the goal to do 10,000. So it was 10,000, but yeah, I'm trying to get it further up than that. So we'll see. I think it's 50,000 now, but
15.
Yeah, it says that right now.
Okay. And we can, guys, 15,000. We can do that. We can do that. No problem.
I do want to say thank you to everyone who's already donated and sent me messages and stuff, and to Freddie, because he posted on the TikTok. Very nice. Yes, he did.
Yes.
Thank you so much. It means so much, but I'm very excited. And when I'm hurting, I'll be singing FCDC Kid in my head to make me go faster.
Love it. Oh, that's awesome. If you're listening out there and you're inclined to run, just show up to the marathon with your shoes on and run a couple of miles with Caitlin. That would be awesome. And bring your cameras, take pictures of your signs, and we'll post them all here. But this is this is a community, so this is.
Thank you so much. That means so much.
Yeah, for sure.
You're the best.
So Caitlin, if you have any more questions about training, if you're ever feeling down about your training, oh man, I don't know if I can do this, you just read that blog and go, if these two dummies can run this, you can do it. Don't feel bad about taking the long day off. Don't worry about it. You've already trained more for it than we did. So
yes,
we're fine. And let us know when you start tapering, because that's what we can relate to.
Okay.
That's our specialty.
We're whoa, slow it down. Let's cut back off of what we're doing.
Yeah. Don't burn out.
Exactly.
Yes.
Caitlin, honestly, super impressed with what you're doing. Honestly,
I know.
It's so good. It's such a worthy cause. We are all so impressed with you. So please, if thinking about how Katie and I trained was ridiculous doesn't get you through it, just know that literally everyone's pulling for you. So we're super psyched.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you got it. Caitlin, this one is going to post probably in February.
Awesome.
And what's it your dad used to say about February?
Oh yeah, that you're closer to camp than you are further.
Yeah. So
very true.
Yeah, exactly. We're closer to camp than we are further, and we're closer to the marathon.
Yeah.
Sarah, what was our longest run?
So our longest run was when we took the train out. It was 10.
Wow, and you still that's, you guys are just athletes. There's no
we are athletes.